Hey, it's me, unapologetically T, and top of the morning to you. Today I am doing something different. I've been very transparent in my videos that I honor my ancestors, and it has been a journey learning about certain ancestors that I didn't have access to or I wasn't aware of. But long story short, I stumbled upon this ancestor. I was calling her Miss. She don't want to be called Miss, but Lydia, and I don't like Miss and Mister either. It's cringy because it definitely arrives from slavery and the whole master complex thing. So if you do word etymology, which I talk about on here, like you will literally learn that a lot of our words have different uses and meanings, and so that sir ma'am shit is very much southern, and it's very much southern for a reason. So she did not want to be called that, and I'm gonna respect her and call her by her name. And her name is Lydia Broadnax, and she literally is from Williamsburg. Far as like, okay, so I don't know her original, like original, like, but for historical purposes, she was a slave, and from Williamsburg, and she literally was owned by George Wythe, which is so comical because I graduated from George Wythe, which is now called something completely different. However, George Wythe owned her. During the time that he owned her, it was illegal to free your slaves, but literally he found this loophole, and some other laws had got passed, and he found loopholes in it, and he freed Lydia. Lydia Broadnax, and in her documents they just had her first name, so it's probably most likely she chose Broadnax as her last name once she became freed. So she was free. She moved to Richmond. She was a property owner in Richmond, so she was a part of the free people, black people community in Richmond. So like, talk about like, this came about from talking about something totally different. I found this ancestor, and I get amazed all the time how this stuff works. And look, I've been here before with talking to ancestors and all that stuff, but however, like, this go around, like, I'm just glad and that I could validate myself and be happy about these things. Back when I was younger, it was like, only I was aware of this is happening, and I didn't have anybody to kind of share it with. So now I feel completely confident and comfortable to share messages from my ancestors and just talk about my ancestors, and just be cool with that. So Miss Lydia, no, excuse me, sorry, not Miss Lydia is it was a property owner back then, and she also, like, so not only did George Wythe free her, he literally ended up moving to Richmond, and she became his cook. So she became a paid cook for him. A very tragic story. So she was pretty much far as being a free black, being a part. Richmond has a rich history of free black people, in there. A lot of our history is hidden in plain sight. They have turned a lot of things into parking lots, like our burial grounds and just historical sites into parking lots. So they just literally are building over like a lot of our historical stuff. But yeah, Richmond has a very rich culture of free black people. You definitely had Jackson Ward, like basically all our areas that literally one would deem like ghetto and was the projects, was literally the booming communities of the free black people. Church Hill was a booming community of free black people. There is a hidden history in Church Hill. We have Maggie L. Walker, of course. So, you know, literally was a millionaire, made millions. So like literally there's a rich history here, and I was so happy to find her because I had never heard anyone talk about her. And to know that she owned her own property, and like she literally, you know, was someone, and to find her was special to me. And I wanted to share that with y'all. I also wanted to share that not only did George Wood free her, he literally moved to Richmond after she got herself established and set up there. So it makes one wonder. I did not get any downloads from that part, but it makes one wonder. And I did, however, get downloads that a lot of people are going to be surprised about those forefathers. I've always had my inklings about our forefathers, but a lot of people are going to be surprised. I remember this was during COVID, and the statues were getting taken down, and I kept telling people, like, I don't know how I had access to this information, but I kept telling people around me. I even remember, like, Dante was like, I was crazy. And I was just like, you know what? I am. And I bet you when they remove that statue, like, if they remove that statue, because this was before they even removed the statue, I was telling him, like, things are underneath those statues, like, and I didn't have access to this information. But then after I told him that, like, I think like maybe a week later, like a news special ran, and someone who was like a historian or something, like, said, yeah, like there's usually artifacts underneath a lot of the statues and all that great stuff. So it was actually like clarifying what I had said, and I had a vision. I literally had a deep vision with that one. That one was intense. And it was like very much whatever was put there for a reason. They call them time capsules, but it was definitely some information that was going to be there that was very, very important. However, they do not let, you know, the public know everything that's in there. They did do like a little, I found a YouTube, because I later on, years later, researched it, and this was like recently, like I researched it and tried to find, you know, when they was opening the time capsule, what was in it. And they definitely had different stuff in there. They had like coins and different metals, and they literally had to be careful because that stuff was not used to high levels of oxygen. So literally stuff that was in like pristine mint condition far as metals, soon as oxygen hit it, it causes oxidization. I guess that's how you say it. I know science, but right now we ain't functioning on all four cylinders. Like I'm more on my history tip right now in my channel and stuff. So but yeah, so I got to watch their process, but they never like said, oh, this is a letter that stated this, this, and this. And so, but I thought that was cool that actually my vision was at least partly correct. I don't know if it was fully correct, but it was at least partly correct. However, I did get a download from her, or you can call it channeling, you can call it prophecy, whatever. Like, I did get something from her. I guess prophecy would be more from God, but I guess I'll call this a download. So I got something for her that, like, our forefathers were not what, you know, what is being forward faced to us. And I do have more information, but I would rather like keep that to myself and those close to me. But I did get that download that like everything is not what it seems. And it's actually interesting because I had this conversation with different people throughout this whole process of all these name changes and all this stuff. Like, literally, we are doing name changes and we're taking down statues, which I'm not saying is wrong completely, but what I'm concerned about is that it's ass backwards. You literally have not taught the American people or anyone who actually comes to this country Because a lot of foreigners come here and just look at African Americans as if we are crazy. Sometimes they just look at Americans as a whole as we're stupid, and this is the furthest from the truth. And if you thought we were, why the fuck are you here? You literally should do a real history lesson, not American history lesson that they give us in school. You should do real research before the fuck you come over here, or you're gonna be the real idiot. You're going to be the real slow person because you don't even know the history here. And so you're coming to a place trying to, I guess, milk it for whatever opportunities you want, and you don't even realize what didn't happen here. So judge less and learn lots. I don't know, I was called to say that, but in all actuality, like, we're doing these name changes and we're taking these statues down. Statues I really feel like should be in a nice ass museum, and it should be historically correct and told. However, name changes, if a person wasn't a great person, definitely should have changed their name. But a lot of y'all not even talking about the history and what certain white men were doing. A lot of white men definitely helped free slaves. Like, a lot of white men did. And I ain't gonna say a lot, let me scratch that. Some white men did. That's what I'm gonna say. And that was another download that I got from Lydia, was that a lot of times we in society view just white men as a problem. And I already knew this, right? So we were having a conversation about slavery and what that looked like and feels like. And one thing that came up for her was that more times than none, the woman of the house, the madam, the slave owner's wife, she was the worst to have to deal with. More times than none, she was the one who was the most treacherous, the most evil, the most wicked, the most vile. A lot of times, white women who husbands were in those positions, because that's another thing, not every white person had the money to own slaves. It costs to own slaves. I know it's like a concept you wouldn't understand, but you do gotta like take care of your slaves, even though a lot of them gave poor conditions, some of them didn't. But you do gotta take care of your slaves. You gotta house them, you gotta feed them, and so it costs to have slaves. You couldn't have a slave, even though they're doing free labor, you still couldn't have a slave without having some type of cost. So a lot of those women were jealous that the slave masters were raping their slaves. A lot of them were jealous that their slave masters actually had, consensual, loving relationships with their slaves, because that happened too. A lot of them were jealous because they were not getting the attention that they wanted from their husbands, because their husbands were businessmen and they probably were, dabbling in this affair and that affair and that affair. And then to top it all off, like, you chose to be with the slave tonight. So, the white woman, instead of being a woman and, asserting her power over her male counterpart, took the weak way out and literally would take it out on the slaves, literally would sleep with male slaves because her husband was sleeping with the female slaves and stuff like that. So literally would sleep with male slaves. Pregnancies would come about this. Literally would unalive children that came out mixed from white women. Also would literally get black male slaves killed. And it was very stupid because, like, the black slave male could not, a field nigga couldn't come in the house. So it's like, literally you got innocent people killed that literally you went and sought after. So this is it's a lot. So and not all female slaves, nothing is always all, okay? So not all were like this, however a whole lot were. So if you are a black woman, you know all too well we have run into their fucking ancestors. We have run into their ancestors in our workplaces and all of that. Our mere appearance, for some reason, disturbs their motherfucking demons. Just being us, and we can be the nicest, sweetest person to them, and for some odd reason they want to tear us down automatically. For some odd reason they feel intimidated by us for no reason, and I think it is some generational shit that's just stuck with certain white women. There has been no woman nastier to me than a white woman in the workplace. A white woman in the workplace. A white woman in the workplace. I've had some nasty black bitches in the workplace, but there has been no one more nasty to me than a white woman in the workplace. A white woman in the workplace would tear you down so quick because she's fucking mediocre. And she can see that you got that shit in you. And instead of her embracing you and you learn from her and she learned from you, because you're coming in humble. You're coming in, passionate and happy. But instead of her embracing you and y'all can get what y'all can get from each other, she chooses to tear you down. She chooses to backstab you. She chooses to go a whole nother route. And I have been blessed that I have met some really good ass white women. Thank you, God. A lot of black women have not been blessed with that, but I have been blessed with that. As a child, I always believed that there were some good white people and there were some bad white people. And just like there is in all colors and shades, there are some duds in our community. So but when you meet those ones that were like their ancestors back in the day, they are very treacherous. They are very detrimental. They will try to block you and stop you from getting higher than them, or even just getting credit, period. Won't give you the credit, won't let you climb, will try to tear you down, will try to make it seem like once you do take up for yourself that you are the angry black woman. Will cry them white tears real quick. So, and it's not all, and I hate that I have to even fucking say it's not all, because y'all perpetuate the fuck what y'all want to about us and TV and newspapers and everything. And so y'all don't talk about, oh, it's not all of them. Y'all literally make it seem like it's all of us. So maybe I'll do better when y'all do better, because I'm tired of saying it's not all white people. Fuck y'all. Y'all need to speak up too, because it ain't enough of y'all speaking up. So, and I feel like shit. My friends and family that is white that love me, y'all already know. Like, y'all already know I treat everybody fair. I treat everybody with love and kindness, but I'm sick and tired of stupid people. I don't care what color you come in. If you stupid, you stupid, and I'm tired of it. Like, I'm so tired of it. Whew. I don't even like, what's the 6ix9ine boy? I don't even like him, but he remind me of my baby daddy. Like, so I can't like him. Like, it just reminds me of how much was a clown ass bitch in the circus. So yeah, what is his name? Tekashi 6ix9ine. Yeah, I don't like him. He remind me straight of the sperm donor. So and that's all the fuck you were. You just was a vessel that I had a baby with. But yeah, remind me of that, like a straight kind of like a poser, really not about that life. Like, he literally used to be like, stupid, and I like that. I do like that. I like that. I be wanting to call people stupid all the time. Like, I want to spell it STOOOOOOOPID, like stupid. Like, that's the only thing I like from him. But yeah, so history, I learned some history about Lydia. I learned some history about George Wythe. George Wythe literally does not seem like he was a bad guy. His nephew actually killed him, poisoned him. And Lydia knew about it, but because she was black, even though she was a free black person, they still back then had laws where she couldn't even testify in court against a white person. She could only testify in court against a black person. So they literally let this nigga's nephew kill him, and he got off on it because they didn't have enough evidence, because they wouldn't let her testify. And he was not only poisoning him, he was poisoning all of them. Like, so she ended up losing her eyesight due to the poisoning. And literally, you know, his nephew was the one who unalived him because he was poisoning the food. And what else? There were some other things she couldn't do. I'm looking at some information, because I ended up, not only did I get downloads from her, I ended up finding this good ass website. What is it called? It's Slavery and Remembrance. So .org. Slaveryandremembrance.org. So not only did, you know, I find her, or she found, I'm gonna say she found me, and I get these downloads from her. I literally found this good ass website about her. Talk about confirmation. So let's see some things about both of them. So George Wolfe was actually one of the first Virginians to sign the Declaration of Independence. So he was definitely a part of that. And they said he probably believed that slave practices did not align with the Declaration of Independence of like life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. So literally we have some truths to uncover that hasn't been uncovered, and they will be uncovered, but everything is not what you seem, what it seems all the time, and for good reason. So we're gonna carry on. Yes, so even with her being a free black, she did still have to like pay taxes and stuff like that, but guess what, she could not vote. So we know that from, you know, those amendments and laws and stuff. So, but they said she was a very like resourceful woman, and all that stuff. Like, you know, she was a resourceful woman to own property, period, point blank. To own property, that's like a status. It's not just a status during this time, like, even though like to own the property during this time, it's like to be like you definitely got some money right there, you got some equity. But even back then, to own land or own property was definitely, you know, to be of status. She literally purchased the home and she turned it into a boarding home. So like, she's a cool person. So that meant that she was letting other people, you know, stay there. So she was just smart. And like I said, he came back. He moved to Richmond, excuse me, not back, but he moved to Richmond. Which, if y'all don't know, like, Virginia was the first colony. And, you know, this is just far as colonial stuff. This is not America's history, you know, before Columbus came. American history before Columbus came, there were black people here before Columbus came. They're called Native Americans. Native Americans are melanated people. They came in all different shades and colors. Go figure, because black people can definitely make all shades and colors. But anyway, so they literally, shades and colors, they're literally Native people, indigenous people, whatever you want to call us, aboriginals. We literally were all scattered across this place. My theory is that we all started in Africa. Some people feel like they just want to be, you know, tied to the place that they started at, but we all started in Africa. And I think that Pangea happened, and but before Pangea happened, we started in Africa and we spread it out, you know, nomads, and we spread it out, and we different tribes, different people have different, you know, ways of life and thoughts and you know, how they want to do it. You can just even look at religion, like, and see how many, like in Christianity alone, you got Catholicism, or Catholics, goddamn, I can't talk this morning, Catholics, and you got, and I'm sorry, God, I didn't mean to say that. I'm trying to get stuff out of my vocabulary that was there, but God is not damned. And so you got Catholics, and you got Baptists, you got Pentecostals, you got non-denominational, and you got some other ones in there too that doesn't get like a lot of attention. But like, just to say, you got all these different groups within this one umbrella of things. So that's the same kind of way, like, when you think about us being here and originating and us spreading out. So we spread out, you know, and Pangea happened, and it kind of like separated us. That's what I have been, I've known this since I was little. Like, I've known that this was common sense wise, but, you know, I call it wisdom, that this is probably most likely how it happened. Literally, we have also ancient history here. So just the same way we have ancient history in Africa, we have ancient history all over this fucking planet. And so when we identify with everyone being from Africa, is because we most likely all started there. That's my theory. And that's what I'm gonna stick to. But however, the same way we all started there, we all have ancient, and just the same ancient lineage being in our native places. For me, I identify with this whole earth. I am from this whole earth. I do, you know, gravitate more to certain cultures and feelings of things, but I am just as much Asian as I am, you know, Native American. I am just as much African as I am Asian. Like, it all codes the same thing for me. Like, it doesn't matter what region you put me on this planet. Like, my DNA is my DNA, and that's that. And so for me too, I really identify with being a nigga. That's what I identify with. I'm a nigga, like, and I'm not a dumb nigga. I'm a solid nigga. So there we go. I remember I was watching this Super Scent live one time, and a girl asked her what she was mixed with because of her hair, and Super said, I'm mixed with that nigga. And I never forgot it. Like, I was like, yeah, exactly. Cause niggas cold for all this shit. Like, I'm a nigga. That's what I am. And you tried to give me that shit to tear me down. Nah. I'm cool with it. But yeah, so she basically, you know, stayed in Richmond all her life after that. They don't have any like memoirs or diaries of hers. However, she was talking with me. Very intelligent woman. And that's that. So, and they said, like, she was a part of the free black community in Richmond, Virginia, and throughout the United States. Free blacks like Lydia built the foundation of African American institutions after the American Revolution. They operated businesses, established churches, mutual aid societies, and other organizations to support communities' efforts to fight for freedom and equality in the United States. So I just want to give so much love, admiration. I want to give Lydia her flowers spiritually. I want to give her flowers with my words. I want people to go research Lydia Broadnax. I would like for you to also go research George Wythe and see what contributions he did. He had towards you know, the world we're currently living in now, because there were a lot of them that definitely were decent people Thomas Jefferson. That's another one, but I won't get too deep into it. I have too suggested that I think I may have a lineage with George Washington. My family definitely were Washingtons for our surnames, and we literally was a hop, skip, throw away from Monticello, or is it Montpelier? I forgot. Whichever one of those M words. It's Montpelier, I think. Because I think Monticello is like Thomas Jefferson. Montpelier. So we was a hop, skip, throw away, and I think that was where the first White House, well, the first, not first White House, but like the first, that's where he lived at before they built the White House. Which slaves built the White House. Slaves built the White House. We need reparations. That was another thing she said. Like, we need reparations. Black people need reparations. Black people need reparations. A lot of shit was stolen from us and our ancestors. Not only was it stolen from us, our ancestors rebuilt shit for us, and it was stolen from us again and again and again and again. So Black people deserve reparations. And I do have another download, which will be separate from this video, but I just wanted to shout out Lydia Broadnax because, strong woman. She definitely was a figure in her community. And I think we should all start looking up ancestors, whether they're from your bloodline or not. Sometimes ancestors don't even have to be from your direct bloodline, but maybe they respect you, maybe they, see you, and they want to be there with you and for you. So pay attention to the signs, and if you do keep getting, seeing certain stuff and certain names, like, do some research. Look them up. Look up people in your area who made contributions. Like, there's people from not my area, like, that I have connected to, just on a pain level. Like, I felt the pain of them. There's a few people from Georgia that, like, literally has touched my heart, that, were ancestors. And even though I don't know my direct bloodline to them, like, I felt like they were a part of my bloodline and I saw them, right? So I don't know. We do not have to wait to February to honor our ancestors. I also was talking about this last night to my best friend. Like, white history literally is slavery. White history is white supremacy. White history is all those things y'all try to hide. White history is the whitewashed, American history that y'all try to cover up the real history with. That's white history. And we should stop celebrating white history. White history is slavery. Black history is before slavery. Black history is rich in culture and just stories, and they're still out here. One thing you can try to do is you can try to whitewash things. You can try to cover things up. You can try your darnest. You can burn books. You've done it before in history and it has gotten you nowhere. Don't you remember? I think, was it Timbuktu? It was somewhere where there was this massive library of collected, resources and so many, so much knowledge. It was massive, and they literally burned it down to the ground, so like they could destroy the knowledge. And so you've done this before and it's gotten you nowhere. Like, we keep repeating this shit. Like, it's literally like, when are you gonna realize, like, you'll lose every time. You'll lose every time. Like, and like I said, I'm not going to say, it's not for all white people anymore. Like, white people, use your discernment. I feel like my friends who are white, they know I'm not talking about them. Like, shit, if a hit dog holler, you feel guilt, then you feel it for some reason. If you feel scared that the tables have turned, then you wasn't a great person. Like, Because only people who was not that great of a person would feel that way. Because anybody who has a real black friend knows that you are safe with us. Once we feel like you are safe with us. So, however, some of y'all think y'all got black friends and y'all don't. You got a black coworker, you got a black teammate, you got, a black I don't know, you got a black something, but it is not a black friend. Like, you got someone that's black. That's what it is. Because if you don't talk racism with your black friends, if you don't talk politics, religion, all that stuff with your black friends, y'all have not gotten, y'all ain't get close. They talking about the weather and sports and all that stuff with you. That's nothing. So that's that. I'm gonna do this downloaded message that sorry. I don't know. I just feel like I'm honored by her, so I be wanting to call her Miss, but I usually don't even like fucking using the word Miss, so it's very weird. It might be just, that time period that I keep wanting to do that, but she told me no. She said no. Like, call me Lydia. And so I just wanted to get her name and her story out there. Which her story is out there, but I just wanted to do it on my channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning something about Lydia and also something about George Wythe, because I literally went to George Wythe High School and I did not know. My brother graduated from there too. I went there my 12th grade year, and I went there momentarily. Like, my 12th grade year, I went to a billion schools, but I literally did not know those things about George Wythe. They have changed the name of the school, but learning what I've learned, like, he literally could have stayed George Wythe, because that man seems like a very decent, moral, and not just even morals, like, just seemed like a decent guy. But I was never taught about him. And I think sometimes we need to learn about some of these people in the communities that actually do deserve to have some schools named after them, or whatever. Black people do too. It should be diversity, right? We all play this part, and I wouldn't have mind having a school named after Mr. George Wythe when he's out there freeing slaves and having a good heart. So, but we do need some new names to be honored. I do kind of like that schools are kind of coming away from just being named after people anyway, but just having like a generic name. However, that's how we do history though. Like, that the names do matter. Like, they really, they matter. That's why we have them. And so we just don't want, people who literally were oppressing people to be honored. That's all. So yeah, hopefully that'll work itself out. I don't have to say hopefully anymore. Everything will work itself out, period, point blank. If you trust God, trust that all this stuff has been happening for a reason, trust the process, and everything will be be all right. So I am going to head on out, and I'm going to do this video, which is a quick video of some advice Lydia gave me. All right.